Hey there, Lacey here with A Sweet Pea Chef. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you a super easy chocolate muffins recipe that is paleo, and we make it in a blender, and it's so simple to make and they are so tasty when you have them come fresh out of the oven. I shared this recipe on Instagram a few weeks ago and you guys just went bonkers for it, so I figured it might be easier to see how to make them if I show you in a video rather than just in a picture. Sound good? Awesome. P.S. These muffins are redonk simple to make, and they are paleo, clean eating, gluten-free, dairy-free, all sorts of stuff that is just awesomeness. And they're made in a blender and with no added sugar or added oils. So they are just pure and simple goodness. Before I forget, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you never miss my new weekly recipe videos, because I'm always sharing new healthy ways to enjoy tasty foods. Let's get started. So if you've made my banana chocolate chip muffins before, go you. But this recipe might also sound a little bit familiar because I'm using a very similar process. In that recipe though, I use spelt flour, and in this recipe, I'm using almond flour, which is a little bit different because it's gluten-free and it's higher in protein and has just a bunch of added fats in there. But it's a good kind of fat, and it's just gluten-free and paleo and just really good for you. If you can't have almonds for any reason, obviously you don't want the almond meal, you can replace that with some whole wheat pastry flour. If you can't have gluten, you can replace your whole wheat pastry flour with cassava flour. Both your whole wheat pastry flour and cassava flour are going to be the same portions, everything's going to be the same as the almond flour. If you can't have either of those, you can have coconut flour as well, and that is gonna just require a little bit extra moisture, so you can add in another mashed banana or an egg to add a little bit of extra moisture. All of these types of flour replacements will work perfectly in this recipe, and then if you have any other ones you ever test, make sure to share with me in the comments, because I absolutely love hearing it. I can't test all the different flours, and I would love to know if you find another one that works well. So go ahead and start preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're gonna grease a muffin tin with some coconut oil. You don't have to use coconut oil to grease your muffin tins. You can just replace that with some cupcake liners if you really want to. I don't personally like cupcake liners. I like just using it in my plain muffin tin. It just seems way simpler to me. But if you wanna avoid that oil, you can use a cupcake liner, no problem. Our next step is to get everything into the blender. And like I said, these are very simple ingredients. So in order to make these muffins sweet, I'm using ripe bananas. The riper the banana, the sweeter the muffin. So that means that you're gonna wanna choose bananas that are pretty close to being almost too ripe, because that's gonna have a higher sugar content. If you choose ones that are not as ripe and are a little bit more green, you may wind up having to add in a little bit of pure maple syrup or raw honey, whichever you prefer. And if you absolutely hate bananas, you could also use unsweetened applesauce for this. It's just pretty much, those are gonna be really good fillers that are naturally sweet that add in that moisture instead of oils and sweeteners. So in our blender, we're gonna go ahead and add in our ripe bananas, followed by eggs, dark cocoa powder, vanilla extract, baking soda, ground cinnamon, and sea salt, and then we're gonna blend to combine. We're basically adding everything in here besides the almond flour and the chocolate morsels, because those would get all broken up, and we want that to be more solidified later when we're gonna mix it all together. You'll see in a second. In a large mixing bowl, go ahead and add in our almond meal, and then follow that with our blended chocolate mixture. And then we're gonna stir this to combine until everything is incorporated together. Next, add in our dark chocolate morsels. Oh, you don't like dark chocolate morsels? Okay, awesome. So we have all sorts of options that we can put into these muffins besides chocolate morsels. So you can leave them out completely and not add anything else in them, or you could add in some nuts, cacao nibs, dried fruit, instant coffee in chocolate muffins, yes. Some fresh fruit or some coconut flakes. All of these are gonna be equal amounts of the chocolate morsels, and they're all gonna be delicious, and they're gonna make a different flavor muffin on all of them. So they're just kind of experiment and see which one works best for you. All right, so I'm gonna be adding in my dark chocolate morsels for real this time, and then I'm gonna be stirring it all together until it's nice and even. The last thing you want is one muffin to have no chocolate morsels and another muffin to have all of the chocolate morsels. So make sure it's all evenly distributed. All right, now we have our batter all ready to go. Some might even say on deck. And we're gonna be putting it into our muffin tin. So we've already greased everything, and I'm gonna be dividing it evenly using an ice cream scoop. These are super helpful because everything gets evenly proportioned so that you don't have like one muffin with just a little bit of stuff in it and one with like all of the stuff in it. I'm all about evenly distributing because that's gonna make it easier when we bake it, because that's gonna make things evenly cooked so you don't have one overcooked or one undercooked all at the same time. We want it even and simple. I also like to top off these muffins with a little bit of extra topping. This not only adds just like a cool look to your muffins, but it also adds a little bit of extra moisture and texture and flavor. So I'm gonna be topping these off with a few more extra dark chocolate morsels. Really quick, let me give you some tips on how to pick out chocolate, because dark chocolate morsels are not all created equal. In fact, they are very, very different. So you're gonna wanna look for something that's 60 to 70% cacao or higher. And you're gonna also wanna look for things that don't start with sugar as the first ingredient. That means you wanna avoid anything that is milk chocolate, because the milk chocolate cacao levels are very low, and in order to make them tasty, people put a bunch of sugar in there. In fact, it's often the first ingredient. So look for better quality dark chocolate morsels so you have more nutrients and less sugar added to your chocolate. All right, so let's transfer these babies into the oven, and we're gonna bake them for 20 to 25 minutes. While we're waiting on our muffins to bake, if you're wanting to make these vegan, you could easily replace the eggs with a flaxseed egg. And that you just make that by combining 2 tablespoons of flaxseed meal with 6 tablespoons of water, mixing that together and then setting that aside for like 5 minutes, and then just use it just like a regular egg, and then it'll bake perfectly and it'll be just like what an egg would do. All right, so now our muffins are done, and I know that because they have risen. I can poke a toothpick into it and it comes out clean, and you can see it's kind of goldeny brown around the edges, and it is smelling amazing. So let them set into the muffin tin out of the oven for about 5 minutes before you transfer them on over onto a cooling rack to let them cool all the way at room temperature. So as you can see, these chocolate muffins are so moist and dark chocolatey and just so good. Plus they're really, really simple to make. You don't even have to dirty a bunch of dishes or anything, and you can make them in your blender, which is awesome. They're also really versatile, so you can change out a lot of the ingredients like I've shown you today to fit your special dietary needs. Properly stored, they're gonna last for about 2 to 3 days on your counter if you just cover them with like some plastic wrap or something, or you have them in a bag. Or you can put them in the fridge and they'll store for about a week, and you can just grab them and enjoy them as you like. I have just got these brand new reusable, resealable bags, and they're super awesome. I'll link to them below for you. So you can store them in these cool bags in the fridge for up to a week, or you can put them in the freezer this exact same way, and they'll save for up to 3 to 4 months, which is awesome. Also, big bonus, these healthy chocolate muffins are under 200 calories each, have 7 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber, and all sorts of chocolatey goodness to satisfy your chocolate cravings. So I hope you enjoy them as much as we do. They go fast in our house. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and check out my muffins playlist, because all muffins need playlists, people. And tell me what your favorite muffin recipe is, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.